Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got to look at the Weimar for you. Tier 6 German Cruiser. Hipper on the screen, Yamamoto, Dimitri Dewey. All about the AP. If you don't have this Hipper character, go ahead and put on Von Mueller. Essentially the same build, but we got Ingenious in slot 1. You should probably put on HE Burn Chance because the German HE could always use a little bit of a boost. There's the Weimar armor scheme. A little bit more armored on the sides than the München. Now, why are we comparing it to this ship? Well, I was hearing the early scuttlebutt on my Discord, just had a couple chances to pop in, take a quick peek around during my break or whatever, and people were saying, okay, this ship's playing like the York, so I'm kind of expecting like a York-esque ship all day, more of a heavy cruiser, and here we get home, fire up the game, and I pull up the stats in the ship. That's usually a good way to get a good idea of what the ship's going to be like roughly. Okay, so I start plugging in the stats in my sheet here, and all of a sudden we start seeing things like 4x3 150s. Wait a second here, what's on the München? 4x2 150s. Okay, well, where's the difference here? We must have a much slower reload on the Weimar. No, it's 4.8 on both of them. A little bit better in the Traverse and the München, but not much. Same AP damage. In fact, this thing, the München's AP damage per minute is 405,000. Weimar's 607,000. So we're basically a 50% boost in the damage per minute. And you want to compare that to the York, by the way, 250,105 on that. So you can see how big of a beast the München already was, but now here we got an extra gun per turret. Okay, so look out. The Weimar is a little bit faster, a little bit stealthier, same torpedo package. Looks like this one actually reloads a little bit faster for some reason. The München has 2 torpedo launchers in the middle that can launch off both sides. Weimar, 2 launchers per side. Okay, so we actually have 12 torps on this and 8 on the München. Now, all 8 on the Münchens can go either side, so a little bit more versatile per torp, but we actually have 6 per side here. And we're going to see some pretty crazy plays as this game goes on. In fact, the close of this game is one of the better plays that I can remember making in the recent past, at least. So stay tuned for this. It's a pretty exciting game. But yeah, the München already was pretty solid. It's just you got to play it pretty carefully. Apt to be blown up. This one, same exact thing. And here we go. We're deploying on these islands here, and Jervis pops in. He's closing in here. I believe he knows we were here. We were actually spotted earlier, but he's aggressively pushing the destroyer. Can't blame him for that. But look out here. We got the AP loaded Weimar coming in hot, and Jervis, he's just over half health right here. He's slamming on the brakes trying to hit the smoke, and we're going to combine in there with our team. Great job with the destroyer actually shooting back at him, but we're going to clobber him there. Combined arms there, and this thing can shred destroyers. I would usually keep the AP in there. Keep an eye on your results, see what kind of damage you're actually getting, but for the most part, if they're broadside, you want to be shooting AP basically at any ship. If it's angled, shoot HE like this North Carolina. You can see we're trying to get behind this island here. Drop line of sight. Now we just drop the anchor. York took a shot at us there, but he can't see us anymore. AP all day as soon as he's coming towards us, but now look at this. He's beginning to turn out. Go ahead and switch over to the AP damage, or the AP shells here, and take a look at this damage. Okay, we got one more salvo of HE that hits him there, starts to fire. And now these are all APs for the next 3-4 salvos, and you can see the kind of damage. This is withering damage. Nobody wants to be a part of this. And this was what the München did already. Basically it was really looking for these broadside battleships, and it would tear them to shreds. This thing, no different. In fact, the only difference is it does it much more effectively. And even here, until it hits about that 45, then we're comfortable. 45-degree angle, then we're comfortable with the AP. Go ahead and switch the HE, and now he's going to begin to angle to the other side. So launch a couple HE just for good measure, and then we go ahead and pop him back with the AP here, fire off 1 or 2 of those, and he should already be dead by the time the AP even gets there. In fact, we go ahead and sink him right there. So you can see the damage output between the destroyer and the North Carolina there in the first 3.5 minutes. 40,000 damage. We only have 32,000 HP here, so we've already covered our own ship's HP. We've contributed to killing 2 important pieces over here. Unlocked access to their home cap. You can see destroyers now wisely moving into B. I'm keeping an eye on the situation here because there is that York back there, and Yorks do specialize in wrecking destroyers, especially if the destroyers don't have adequate support. But I'm also looking to get basically right in the middle of this map here. This map, if you can kind of make it safe for you by clearing off a flank and then you can get in the middle, that's a very powerful position, and you can basically control the majority of it. So it's going to take just a moment to transport over there. Again, we're keeping an eye on that York. If he pushes into the cap, we'll fight him. You know, he might present some problems with us because he's got much higher caliber guns, and we can't really likely angle very well against him. But nonetheless, we would definitely want to shoot him. Iowa's just getting straight up bullied by this guy. I'm sure the Iowa's, you know, I'm checking the health, like, all right, the York isn't taking any damage. Iowa's getting wrecked. So I'm telling him, you know, get back, maybe see if you can do something else. At least try and stay alive for a little bit longer. Destroyers moving in the cap, you know, they're capturing B here. Nobody's really pressuring them. And we're going to begin to envelop the team as we centralize our positions over here. So no real reason for the Iowa to casually give himself up here. But yeah, getting back to the Weimar. Normally for ships, a lot of these new premium videos, I give you early access looks. I'll try and play about 10 games, especially if I'm trying to figure out the play style of the ship. This one, very, very familiar. I already like the München already quite a bit, and it's basically the same thing. Like I said, there's a little bit of a tweak there. The München's got slightly better speed, slightly better rudder shift, slightly better detection. You know, this slightly better turn circle, but you know, those are kind of tweaks, balancing factors, I guess, in their mind. But does it balance the fact that we're getting 50% more damage per minute output on this thing? I don't really know. This thing's definitely a terror. My advice, if you don't want to buy the ship, that's fine. But if you see it out there, go ahead and wreck it. Because if you leave this thing alive, we're going to see some wild damage records coming in on this thing as more and more people. And by the way, the few games I've played in this thing so far, I've been seeing a lot of them out there. So I guess word's probably getting around already that this thing's a little bit of a demon. So this is why we're always trying to get people to play cruisers, because you're not going to see these huge damage per minute, 600,000 damage per minute values on any battleship, certainly not any destroyer. Cruisers are the ones that are capable of pumping out the damage if you know how to play them, if you can keep yourself alive and keep yourself in a relevant position. I mean, you can take a look in this game. We cleared our flank, but due to the nature of the layout, we haven't really been shooting for the last 2-3 minutes. So that's kind of a downside to our, you know, a hit to our total match damage per minute. But nonetheless, I think it was a fair play to make because we kept ourselves safe and helped clear that out. New Orleans pulling over here. We're not spotted yet. We do have a little bit higher detection on these German cruisers, so you know, you ideally want to be looking for these islands with low areas to shoot at, low shelves to shoot over. Udoy coming in again. We combine with the teammates, kill him. But you can see here, like that island on the right-hand side of the screen, or even the one we're zoomed in right now, there's a low part and then there's a high part. That's not the artist trying to make the game more beautiful. It's the game designers, the map designers, saying here's a part of the island you can shoot over, here's a part of the island you can't shoot over, okay? And some parts of the island you can shoot over, you know, at max distance, but not closer. Some you got to be, you know, you can be pretty close to it and shoot over. So the shapes of these islands are intentional. You want to be reading those as a cruiser player and potentially even as a battleship or destroyer player if you're trying to shoot from cover. Always be looking at the shapes of these islands, and again, keep in mind they're not just randomly designed with the shapes. If it kind of drops off and then it has just enough to cover your profile, that's designed to be shooting over, okay? So keep that in mind. I was trying to push this Gneisenau, got a little distracted. I can't remember what I was doing here, but pulled out a little bit too far. So I'm thinking, okay, well, do we want to shoot here? We're going to be frozen in the water as we're trying to back up for, you know, probably 10, 15 seconds, whatever it is. Potentially these guys can shoot it. If that Gneisenau's got his guns reloaded and he's got them pointed over here, he could, you know, easily kill us here. So got to be paying a little bit more attention to the ship. Luckily, he wasn't really paying attention to us. Got a shot off at him. We'll go ahead and smack him around for a little bit of damage, and then we back up and get safe. So at this point in time, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how can we seal the deal here? Because we got good cap control, but we're only up one ship, and both teams are kind of clumped together in two balls. Okay, that's a very common formation. but the York is flanking over there. That's really the only ship that's making a play at this moment. So I'm trying to think, can I deal with him or not, or should I just rush this ball over here? I'm keeping an eye on this Iowa because it says 5.4, 5.3 expected distance for the torps to hit him. So that means he's coming basically right at me with some speed. So I'm thinking, all right, let's drop anchor here. Go ahead and see if we can ambush this guy. I think I got spotted there, or I just decided broadside New Orleans, might as well shoot it. I didn't notice a moment ago which one it was. But, you know, we're again trying to back up, keep ourselves safe here. Fletcher pops up as someone kills the New Orleans. And we're going to go ahead and try and chime in with him, chime in on this guy as well. And big time hits here. That was about 6K damage. We're going to see if we can just kind of spray all over the place inside that cloud. Might as well shoot. And we want to keep checking in on this Iowa because by now we've been spotted. Now, is he zooming in on the map? Or is he zooming out in between the shots, looking at the map, paying attention? Or is he just zoomed in on whatever he's shooting downrange? We're trying to actually peek over here, see what his turret situation is, because I want to rush him. But I got my engine engaged full here, and then we do notice the turrets are almost pointed over here. So I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have to launch the torps. But this is kind of a design play here where we're launching them, where if he continues to turn to get the guns, i.e. if he turns to his left, then he hits those torps. He sees the torps, and then he angles back in here. That pushes the guns back to the right. So this is a crazy play, and it only gets a little bit wilder. We're committed now. We've launched off the left-hand side. We don't have those available, but we got high damage per minute. So we're going to be shooting the superstructure while he's angled. Then as we get access to broadside, check this out. Shooting the nose, shooting a little bit over it right there, but we're still pumping damage into this guy. He started off with 25K as we began slamming him with the guns. Teammates chiming in there, and wow, down he goes. I didn't even see how much damage that was. And check this out. We got the sonar engaged, pushed the Fletcher out of the smoke as a bonus, trying to get the guns. We got 5.4 kilometer sonar, of course, the standard German Cruiser sonar. Teammates spotting him, shooting him down. And now we're launching the AP, chiming in there, and boom, once again, combining in with these teammates who are doing an outstanding job this game shooting destroyers. This is when the game's fun, when your teammates aren't complete buffoons and they shoot the destroyers. York, okay, well, final ship here. He's shooting at us. He, of course, wants to shoot the new ship. Broadside, though, and this is the first time we get a good shot at the York all game, and we're peppering him, and we dodge away from him, and boom, we get the high caliber Confederate, and the final kill here, I believe, on this salvo. Boom, down he goes. So that was a wild play in the Weimar. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that one. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of content coming for you all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.